Hi, it's Ollie Russell-Cowan from Rad Season, and we are joined this afternoon with Neil Rutter, who's the three-time bog snorkeling world champion and the bog snorkeling world record holder for the fastest time. Neil, thanks for joining us.
Hey, no worries. No worries. Good to be here.
Good. Yeah, so I guess diving straight into this, I don't suppose you could give me just a brief overview of what is bog snorkeling.
Well, surely everyone knows. Right? It's the most popular sport, surely. No, bog snorkeling is this bizarre sport that was created back in 1985, I think, in a little pub in Wales called the Newark Arms. And a group sat together and they're like, well, how do we raise a bit of charity money? And they came up with the idea of digging a trench in their local bog in Clonderworted Wells and timing people to swim up and down it. And that just became a thing. 1985 happened. A few people turned up. By the time we got to last year, I think it was the 34th edition, and you've got hundreds of people, about 180 people turned up last year, lining these two bog trenches as people swim up and down a muddy, cold, dank bog using conventional swimming strokes to try and record the fastest time, or just to have a great laugh dressed in fancy dress.
It sounds, yeah. I took part last year, and it's something that, yeah, I found it so bizarre that you're in a field in the middle of nowhere. And I mean, where did you first hear about it? I mean, was that something that you wanted to do for a while, or you thought, okay, I'll give this a crack?
About 15 years, in fact. I was back at university, and my friends and I was around. I can't remember exactly what news outlet it came on, but it was one of those final stories that you get on the news, and finally sort of stories. And we saw this stupid thing happening with people swimming up and down a bog and lots of people in fancy dresses, as I described. And we looked at each other like, totally doing that. Got to do that. Should we do it? Yeah, no, 100%. We'll do it this summer. It'll be amazing. And the summer came and went, and then the following summer came and went. And 15 years, or about 13 years later, it was one of their birthdays, and we called each other like, "What are we going to do? Celebrate your birthday?" We just decided, why don't we go to that bog thing that we never got round to doing? So a good posse of us went on down, camped. It was an absolutely glorious weekend, and we just turned up. And at the end of the day, we all had our go. We're typically late. We're always late for everything. And we signed on. We swam up and down, and it just so happened that my time at the end of the day looked like it was going to stand as the quickest. And suddenly it became a little bit more serious. We started looking at each other as one after the next. The final went. Right, I think I might win this. And finally I did. That was it. I was hooked. The next year thinking much more seriously, might be able to break a world record, so to speak.
And that was, so with the first time that you did the race, that was in 2017, is that right?
Yeah, glorious weather as well. It was an absolutely stunning, warm, hot summer day, just the perfect weather for it. So a bit of a system shock. The following year we turned up and it was peeing it down with rain. It was just absolutely horrendous, but it kind of inspired you to get in and out even quicker. So
funny. And what what are the rules? I mean, what's there's two lanes, and is there anything you've got to look out for?
Don't swim into the walls. Don't or try not to. Don't get perturbed by the creepy crawlies, the various fauna that's swimming around in there. You do share the bog with whatever's swimming in there. I remember back in 2017, we were sat around the campfire the night before. We're like, we better find out how this thing works. So we all sat there. So a non-conventional. I don't know what a non-conventional swimming stroke is. So we read a bit further. Oh, pardon me. My Wikipedia just went up. What a non-conventional swimming stroke is. And so we sort of worked out how this was going to go. You had to do some sort of either doggy paddle arms, or your arms weren't allowed to come over the surface of the water. You had to wear flippers. You have to wear a snorkel. You have to be looking in the mud, which isn't much point because you can't see anything. And swim 2 lengths of this thing. It works out 110 meters.
Okay.
Yeah.
And any sort of particular stroke? I was trying to suss it out. I should have tried to speak to you before I actually did my race. But yeah, anything you would recommend doing? And what kind of sort of techniques you were using? Or
firstly, everyone goes off way too hard and blows up at mid-distance. So certainly, whatever technique you choose, it's yourself. Mm-hmm. And it's a leg sport more than anything. Whatever you decide to use, it's about using your legs. The arms, when you're slopping around in sort of viscous mud, it's, as you know, it's sort of watery, but if your arms can't come over the surface, they're going to be creating quite a lot of resistance. Yeah. So relying on them isn't going to be anywhere near as powerful as getting your legs involved. So just rely on your kick. Whatever sort of kick you go for, that's what's going to get you A to B. I have some theories because I've been thinking about it over the last year. I'm not sure the butterfly kick that I went for was necessarily quicker. I'd like to have a little play, but we'll see next year in 2021. Yeah,
and unfortunately, because of the situation with COVID-19, it couldn't go ahead again. And this would have been, I think it was is this the 35th year that it would have
been 35th? Yeah.
Yeah. And are you going to be back in 2021?
Yeah, I'm intending to. So Bob and the Bog committee went and contacted me earlier in the year.
How did they?
Very kindly invited me back along. And to be honest, because I won the thing 3 times and got that world record, I kind of felt like I'd done it. And I was planning on popping back with my mates again and probably donning some sort of fancy dress thing and just enjoying it, rather than like last year it suddenly became a bit serious. And I never busy sitting on the side of a bog getting in the zone, whatever that is. And
there was a lot of cameras around you. I remember that. You just surrounded.
It was absolutely terrifying. It became a monster. I never intended it to be like that at all. So I was quite keen at the end of that. I was like, oh, I can't do that again. It was only ever meant to be a laugh. It feels far too serious. And then Bob got in contact with me by email, and he said, well, we'd like to invite you back. And I thought about it for a bit, and a few months had passed, and I was like, well, all right, if I do go, would you let me try some things out? Would you let me, Bob? Well, I think you might think I'm some sort of expert, but actually I have no real clue what I'm doing. I've swum up and down a bog 3 times. So is it the fastest? What I chose on the first attempt seemed to work, so I stuck with it. But I could turn up, try out and do some little time trials and find, oh no, there's much quicker ways of getting A to B in here. I could try out some different kit. I've been looking at more aerodynamic kit options. Apparently a hand-me-down, ripped-up old wetsuit and the business I was using might not be the quickest. Maybe there are sort of kit gains to be had. So I was like, well, if I'm going to do it, let's do it properly and geek out on it a little bit and see if I can lower that world record by 1, 5, 10 seconds. Who knows? With a bit of training, who knows how much you can lower it.
What did you do training wise for was there anything that you did like 3 years ago that you thought, okay, like, all right, if I'm going to go in again for 2018, 2019, what were you doing differently, if there's anything that you kind of prepared for? Or were you doing nothing? Were you like, I'm just going to say that?
Not a great deal. The thing I train for is track cycling. So like if I look at the number of times I go around the velodrome, I've probably been around the velodrome 50,000 times in my life, and I pretty much know how to go around the velodrome. So I was like, well, maybe I should go and go to a lake or something and see if I can close my eyes and swim in a straight line for a start, because that was bouncing off the walls. And I looked at the video of me from 2017. I must have swum 10 meters further than I needed to. I sort of go off like a train. You can see me absolutely nailing it for the first 15 meters. And then I sort of stick my head up, all shocked, and I just walloped myself into the wall. And I'm like, oh, That way. So getting yourself swimming in a straight line and remembering to take a look occasionally, that really helped. So I went down to the local lake and just started closing my eyes and trying to aim for a buoy in the distance.
That's so funny.
With one of my mates. And the first time I tried it, I was like, I'm not going to look at all. I'm going to swim 50 kicks and I'm going to open my eyes and see where I am. And I swam this giant arc. And I was like, where's the buoy gone? The buoy's over there. So, learning to swim in a straight line.
Yeah.
In terms of actual hours, not a great deal of time was put into it. It was more, can I swim in a straight line and maintain my leg strength, because it's a leg sport.
Yeah.
So weights and cycling, which I was naturally doing for track anyway.
Yeah, interesting. And it's so like, the one thing I remember is how murky it is in there. Like you can't see anything, right? So you're like trying to pop up and just to sort of see what you're doing. And I sit like we were saying, like trying to find that like practicing and finding a buoy and swimming out to it and see if you can go in a straight line. Definitely.
Yeah. Well, you did a really good time actually, if I remember. Wasn't it something around 140, 145 or something?
Yeah, I was happy with it. I was like, okay, this is the first time. I didn't know what to expect. Yeah. I went in. I thought, okay, well, if I go in as an international, I've got a passport. I was like, yeah, maybe I can make podium internationally. That didn't happen. I think I was like a minute before, like Bob announced the results, and I got taken off. Anyway.
Oh no.
But it was super fun. I mean, we were thinking about whether we could come again this year, but it's not to be. So hopefully next year. And what have you been doing in lockdown? Have you still been managing to train and get out? And
British lockdown has been a strange thing in possibly typical British fashion. Nothing is completely hard and fast. When you look at the rules that we're supposed to be following, or were supposed to be following, it's all changed as of Wednesday, and now no one knows what they're doing. But up till Wednesday, when it was a bit clearer, there was still so much ambiguity. But we were allowed out for exercise once per day, so I was out every day riding my bike and just staying a little bit more local than I normally would. There was this sort of sudden rush on home gym equipment, and I managed to get an order in for some home gym equipment just before it went mad. So I got myself a barbell and some bits and bobs, and so I've been doing sort of garden gym. But I looked afterwards, and you can't get weights for love nor money. People are selling lumps of concrete on weightlifting sales sites for money. And so it's a genuine weight. It's a lump of concrete. So it's all gone a bit crazy. But I've managed to get my training in. It's kept me sane, and the rest of the time I'm just working from home, as I think everyone has been, just locked in, answering endless emails, and it's been very, very strange.
Yeah, and do you see, like, I guess after this, or when this does finish, what other kind of event? Is there anything on the horizon, either taking part in an event or any location that you want to go to? Any quirky things? Anything a bit unusual?
The quirky stuff, like going back to the bog, was definitely on the agenda. I was looking forward to that. I don't know if you've ever looked at the Tetbury Hillstack Woolsack race, have you? Because that would be well up your street.
No.
In the second May bank holiday in England, obviously cancelled this year, Tetbury, which is a local town to me, has another one of these obscure race come festivals where they've got this steep hill, and everyone kicks a bag of 25 kilo wool onto their backs, and they sprint up this hill side by side in a sort of mano a mano fashion, and try and sprint for victory in that. Some of the guys there are just phenomenal. I got roped into doing it a few years ago, and I was definitely up for having another crack at that, because that's another one of those, all the townspeople all the way down the side of it cheering. It's great fun, good commentary, festival atmosphere. So that's up my street again. It's a good fun thing to go and do.
That's cool.
2021, maybe the Woolsack, maybe, and definitely the bog again, I think.
Cool. And anywhere that you want to travel to, any kind of sort of holidays?
Yeah, well, all of my holidays this year, with everyone, have been cancelled. Looking forward to heading to Mallorca to ride some hills around there. I'll go to Croatia. I've never been there, and I've heard it's absolutely beautiful.
Yeah,
so
stunning.
it's going to be where we were looking at for the summer, but again, put on ice, and we didn't get too far along the planning on that. And I was keen to go back to Amsterdam. I studied art at university. I teach art, and so much fantastic stuff in Amsterdam. I was dead keen to go and have a look at again. And again, Amsterdam's not going anywhere. I can head back there. So maybe all of those can happen in 2021.
Awesome. Cool. All right. Well, Neil, thanks a lot for your time, and yeah, look forward to seeing you again.
No worries.
World Championships next year.
It'd be awesome if you can come along again. It'd be good fun.
Cheers, man.
No problem. See ya.